Okay, today's the 14th of June, 2023, and today I did 6 hours on Cubase. Basically, I spent the whole time uh, basically fucking about with quantizing on the drums. I didn't really get that much done again. It was more of that sometimes, like when I'm working on Cubase, the music software, I might spend about 6 hours or longer, and I'm like just actually learning because I'm just trying to get back into it. So I can sometimes finish a day and it feels like a non-productive day, but I guess I've got to be a bit more like, you know, I've spent my time doing it, and it is still work, and I'm learning and I'm moving forward. So I've kind of got to allow myself to feel better about it. Anyway, because for some reason I don't feel that great. I feel it's weird. Anyway, here's my 3 lessons for today. So number 1, allow myself to feel good and celebrate the win when I do the work. Today I did the work, but I still feel a bit meh because I didn't make much progress. And again, like I said on the last video, I've got to compare success to myself. So usually I actually would just procrastinate on doing my number 1 priority. Today I actually spent 6 hours doing it, and although I didn't finish I'll get like much closer to the finish line, I was still making progress. And I've got to celebrate those wins. That was another thing that Julian was saying in Transformation Mastery course. It's just so important to give yourself like a well done when you do something, because it's not sustainable to do all this deep work and all this, and self-improvement. You've got a lot of the work is like boring. It's the opposite of stimulating sometimes. It's meant to be boring, because what I'm used to is the overstimulation of just say when I'm wasting time, or if you're drinking alcohol or using weed or using the internet, it's so stimulating that when you do a 6 8 hours work and you don't get much done, it's just like a funny feeling I need to get used to of just non-stimulation, and almost like trying to find sort of the joy in those sort of subtle feelings of just doing work sober, not drinking, not smoking weed, not surfing on the internet, doing exercise, and then kind of tidying up, going to bed, or maybe going out for a couple of hours. But it's kind of like getting used to that again. Anyway, the second lesson is all today actually my thoughts were drifting while I was working, and they were drifting onto things, kind of random things from the past that were making me angry. I don't know why that was coming up. It was just like bubbling up. I was trying to work, and then it was just sort of stuff that was just annoying me. It was just coming into my awareness. I don't quite know what that is. But like advice that I've gotten about this is continue to put my foot down and say no to that whiny voice. That's kind of like a little voice. It's like saying, remember that thing that happened, remember that thing that happened, or remember that thing you've got to do. And it's like, you've got to be like, listen, you got to say no to that voice and say like, listen, I understand what you're saying, but foot down. Putting your foot down is self-love. Like just being like, I'm not listening to that negative voice today. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to put my foot down, say no to that whiny voice. It's kind of telling me that, I should have had this done ages ago, about how there's another situation that I've not got sorted. There's like another situations in my life that is not quite sorted. And another thing Owen Cook says is like, when you have that kind of stuff going on, is you tell yourself, what else could I be using my thoughts for, instead of using my thoughts to think that negative stuff. It's like I'm using up mental bandwidth by focusing, by allowing to kind of go my whiny voice to kind of take over and tell me how, things are not going to work out. So no low vibration energy. Fuck that shit. Number 3 of today's lessons is, as I said, I feel quite bored while working. But I do feel, it's weird, it's like I feel like a mixture of, I feel quite good. Like I feel like this sort of subtle pride that I've kind of gotten up. I've worked all day, I've stayed sober, and I feel quite good. But I also feel this kind of boredom. Even though I've done everything that I said I was going to do. Can you relate to that? It's like I've done everything that I said I was going to do. I even every 2 hours, I had a healthy meal, and I drank water every hour, like distilled water. Then I went out in the sunshine. I went for a walk. I went to the gym. I did everything I was supposed to do. But I feel sort of understimulated. And I don't know whether that is because I'm just reacclimatizing myself to this less stimulating type lifestyle, because a less stimulating lifestyle, I think, is going to be long-term more fulfilling. But I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's not, it's different from the feeling of smoking weed and like listening to music and like playing guitar, and that's more of like the kind of festival vibe. I'm not feeling those festival vibes. I'm feeling the kind of like, I'm doing the right thing vibe. I'm eating healthy and I'm staying sober and I'm doing my work, but I'm feeling like, I don't know. I don't quite know how to explain it, but over these videos, I'm sure I'll be able to try and verbalize it a bit better than I'm doing quite now. And also, I went to the gym, and as I was walking home, I walked past a bar, and just out of interest, I asked the doorman, whether they were allowing people into the bar just on their own, like single guys into the bar, and they were saying no. And that made me a bit angry for some reason. I was just like, because I was considering going out tonight, and I'm thinking, is it what? Because there's quite a few bars in Leeds where I've tried to get in on my own, and they're not like, they only allow people in if you've got like more than one person, and that made me kind of angry. And another thing about like being totally sober and kind of eating healthily and meditating and stuff is like when like things trigger me, they come up, and I've got to, like when I get angry, when you're fully sober, you have to kind of feel that. So I came home after I felt a bit angry about that, and other things that during the day were on my mind that were making me angry. And I put on one of the anger releases from Transformation Mastery, which is like basically listening to a meditation and actually trying to feel that anger and then let go of it. And I did that, and I feel all right now. It's 10:30. I think I'm going to do a couple of hours of kind of just sort of tidying up, and doing a few things like sort of admin chores that I need to do, and then I'll go to bed. And last night I had some crazy dreams. It was weird. It was almost like I felt like I was actually they were so crazy that like I woke up from one and I didn't want to go back to sleep because I was a bit scared. It was like there was like aliens in my dreams or something. I think that might be to do with not smoking weed. It makes your dreams come back, and when they come back, they're quite intense. And when I woke up last night, or in the middle of the night, I left the light on because it was scary. But I guess that's a good thing too, because dreams are good. Okay, that's it for today. Catch you later.